I the asshole for telling my husband that I feel like I hate him? I, 36 female, gave birth for the first time via C-section on July the 6th. I had complications after birth and I ended up being hospitalized until July the 11th. My husband, 37 male, requested time off from work for only 1 week and he was scheduled to go back to work on Monday, July 17th. We already have a 10-year-old and a 4-year-old at home. On July 17th, I had my post C-section follow-up, and with 3 children at home, me unable to drive, still in pain and recovering, I asked my husband to get out of work early so that he could take me. I asked him while I was holding my newborn. My toddler was sitting next to me and my oldest was walking in the room. My husband's reaction shocked me to my core because he went ahead, raised his voice and said, "What? Why?" And I explained that the doctor must check my incision and clear me to drive, etc. And he still went ahead and said, "I already requested too many days off. Can't someone else take you? Why do you have to go? Can you please reschedule it?" At that moment, I felt so vulnerable and broken at his mercy. I had been on the verge of dying due to complications with my heart. And there he was, getting upset because I had a doctor's appointment at only 11 days postpartum. He has paid time off. All he had to do was request the time off, but he didn't want to bother. He begrudgingly left the room and texted his supervisor to request the time off. I felt so heartbroken, vulnerable, and sad. If the person that I'm supposed to depend on 100% isn't there for me at my time of need, then what's next? I got mad and told him that I was deeply hurt, that I was appalled at his behavior in front of the girls. I told him that I would have never said that to him, and he said, "Well, I'm not you." To which I replied, "One day you will be old and you will need help." And he said, "Well, put me in a home. I don't want to be anyone's burden." That's when I realized what he implied. I was a burden to him. I said, "I feel hate for you right now for doing this and saying those things." He walked away, took me to my appointment. I haven't talked to him. He hasn't tried to talk to me. Over time, we have become professionals at living together and not talking to each other. So this will drag on. I'm very hurt because he hasn't even asked me if I'm feeling okay or not. We can be in the same room taking care of the children, but we won't say a word to each other. He's ignoring me so that I can feel inadequate for what I said and apologize to him.
Left the boy. I mean, I know you have a newborn, but I'm sure there's systems in place that will help you as you go through this difficult time of divorce.
It's like with situations like this, I always think to myself, like, did you not see the signs? Mm-hmm. And I know that with some men, they'll like keep their abusive side like bay until you're like married and like have kids and stuff. But like you have a 10-year-old together, so is this like new to him? Like is it the first time he's done something like this? And I don't think it is, because she mentioned before that they've become professionals at like ignoring each other. So this is not the first time. So why you take up yourself and go have another child with him? You know what I mean? This man is inconsiderate. This man does not love her.
I'm impulsive. I'd leave him. I feel like there's certain moments that are make it or break it. You know, some things that even if a person said it out of hurt or anger, you're just like, we can't come back from this. We can't, like, I could wish you the best, but I need to wish you the best 500 miles apart because I don't want anything to do with you beyond this.
And how can you think that she's a burden when
it's giving you're lacking empathy, not only for her but your newborn? Because how can you look at a whole little human who can do nothing themselves and expect their primary caretaker not to be okay when you can help them be okay after you help produce this little human being? Stop having kids, please. I feel so bad for her, but more so for their children.
This comment says, start marriage counseling and create a mommy's new life fund where you put money away and prepare for the worst. I feel like it's okay to even say divorce him because like she mentioned, it's not the first time something like this has happened, you know? This comment says, of course you're not the asshole. My ex never took off work to take me to my weekly OB appointments when I was on 12 weeks bed rest for preterm labor. A few weeks in, my mom, who lived 1,000 miles away, called my OB and told him I was driving myself every week and that I even got a flat tire one week and he wouldn't come help me. Why are men? Oh my God. My OB promptly hospitalized me, and my mom moved into my house to take care of my daughter, his stepdaughter. Once the doctor knew she was there for the duration, he let me go home. We divorced 2 years later. You are not wrong, and he's being a dick. Girl, you stayed for 2 years too long.
You were gonna say 2 months. Exactly. 2 years. Unless maybe she started the proceedings, but let's hope that's the case, because oh my God.
What am I was gonna say a word, but what I'm trying to say is women give men too many chances.
Too many
chances, because you know what, who
and also you need to regulate who you give chances to. Like, what actions deserve chances? You give chance for everything.
And the thing is, women don't give chances like this to like best friends. You know what I mean? Because if a best friend
is not there when I am laying down with a flu, oh my God, you don't love me, bitch.
But men can be out here doing all manner of evil.
Man will not be there if you got stabbed. Let's be for real. They'd be like, oh, well, you're at the hospital. Like, what can I do if I'm there? I don't know, support? But I'm supposed to drop my job in a different country to be there for you as your best friend. But also, I think it's interesting that both the person who wrote Am I the Asshole and also the comment you just read, none of them talked about friends. Like, you didn't say you called a friend for help or anything like that. I'm just like, what kind of friends you have?
I feel like it's because a lot of the time, women, when they get in relationships, they ditch their friends.
I didn't want to say it, girl. I was waiting for you to say it. But like,
they ditch their friends because the man is supposed to be the most important thing in your life now, you know, because platonic love is not as important as romantic love to these people. I feel like it's kind of stupid because we've seen examples over and over and over and over again of men not showing up when they need to, but your friends always show up. Yet still, it's like people use friendships as like placeholders for when they eventually get a man, you know?
People use friendships the way men use women.
Ooh, bitch, that's a word, child.
Like, literally, I saw a TikTok on Instagram, because you know TikTok's been Instagram girl, and basically the girl was just saying, you want me to settle for a man when my friends treat me like their wives? Never me. Never me. But literally I can call these women any time of the day and they be like, okay, I can't talk right now, but call me later. In fact, I forget I even call them. They're calling me back like, girl, what did you need?
I just think it's ridiculous. And I feel like we need to really analyze that and unpack it. Because I don't think men do that with their friends. They still have their friends.
And I don't want to hear nobody be like, you know, maybe he wasn't in the right mental headspace. Maybe he didn't have like 100% to give. Bitch, I don't care. Women have 10% and they still give. Not because they want to, but because they have to. I feel like we need to be a little impulsive. If you have a man and you feel like he's not doing, just left him. He could be a great person. And you know, some people are like, don't leave it, just left him. You'll be teaching him a lesson. And I hope the next girl leaves him for the same reason. And the next girl, and the next girl. He'll eventually learn. Exactly. He'll eventually learn.
And if he doesn't, then he'll be alone, you know, and nobody else's problem. But anyways, this one last comment says, tell your husband that I hate him too, as does the entire rest of the internet. He's an absolute piece of shit and is completely failing as a husband and a father. Exactly. And that's all that needs to be said.
And I hate how, like, girl, the people be like, marriage is a sacred union, and that's why it's so hard to get out of it, but it feels like a trap. I don't care. I could be with someone for 10 years and they switch up as soon as we're married. And it's just like, what am I supposed to do with this now? Work it out. Work what out? If what I was fed was false, what am I working out? And someone could say I'm being dramatic, but it actually surprised you how many men are false in a relationship.
Like they're masters at acting until they know that they have you, and it will be hard for you to leave.
My question to men, are you tired? I'm tired.
It's the demon in there. But anyways, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for listening to us ramble on and give our opinions on these crazy ass stories. Come back next week for more. I'm Jody. This is
Malika.
And bye, guys.